Friends, it's Jessica here from Three Rivers Homestead, and it's been a while since I've put out a video. It's just a crazy time of year with trying to get the gardens put in and new animals that we've gotten here on the homestead and things like that. It's just, I'm having a hard time keeping my head above water, but I thought today I would just get the camera out and start filming and just take you along on one of our days. So nothing really special planned today. I just thought I'd catch you up on all of the new exciting things that are happening around here and just give you a peek into our day. So I guess I'll start by talking about some of what's been going on. So we're in this weird transitional phase right now with Benjamin. He is 10 months old now, and he is pulling up and crawling along furniture, almost ready to walk. Most of my babies tend to start walking around 10 to 11 months old, and he's right on track to be the same way. And so that's really fun and exciting, but also causes quite a few issues whenever you have a new walker who doesn't know the boundaries of the house and isn't steady on their feet. We have to baby-proof the house a bit. So we've been doing a lot of that in the last couple weeks and putting up gates and just making sure that he's safe. We've had to rearrange some furniture and things. He's also not sleeping very well because of all of this development that's going on and the increased need for more calories to keep up with that development. We've been waking quite a bit through the night, and so I'm working on waking up a bit. But anyways, it's really fun and such an exciting stage. Can't believe he's going to be one soon. A year really flew by. And speaking of a year, it's been about a year since I've been on YouTube, and I just want to thank everybody who subscribes and watches my videos. Thank you for letting me share our life and everything that excites me with you. It's just, I started this channel just as a way to kind of record the memories and share some of the fun projects that we have going on around here, sort of an extension of my Instagram account, and it's really been fun. The kids and I enjoy every now and then going back and watching some of the videos from a year ago, and I just love this this little way to record our life. I'm sure we'll appreciate this down the road. So thank you for sticking with us and for watching. We really appreciate you. So today, Adam just left for work, and I've got breakfast in the oven. It is crazy egg season here. I washed eggs a few days ago, and we had almost, by the end of the day, 15 dozen eggs sitting in the fridge. So we were working really hard to go through eggs. I've made a breakfast here. It was 24 eggs whipped up using the whisk function in my mixer, and 3 cups of flour, and then I thinned it out with 3 cups of water. You could do milk if you're a dairy family, and then I just added a splash of vanilla extract. This was a recipe that was given to me by a friend on Instagram, and it's just in the oven baking, and hopefully this is going to turn out delicious. That's what we're going to have here. While that's baking, the kids are upstairs getting ready for the day. I just got myself ready for the day, and I'm finishing up my first glass of tea. I'm sure there will be a couple more glasses happening here this morning. But other than that, we're going to eat, and then we're just going to get started. So why don't you come along with us? Right, so here's how it turned out, and the friend that shared this with me, this was her grandma's recipe, and she called it the walls of Jericho because the sides of it get really high here, and then when you cut into it they fall down. So the kids are really excited to see this. We're just going to serve it. We've got a choice if they can have some sifted powdered sugar on top or some maple syrup and an orange. So you guys ready to cut into this? Yeah! All right.
bigger than anyone. Mommy, I got to do that. So there was this little girl, and she was sitting to her mom, her big brother, and her dad. Her dad fell asleep and woke up on the ground while she was singing, and said, I'm sorry, I gotta go. And she's like, was I that bad? And he just had a bad dream. Yeah, she her life thinking that her dad didn't like her song.
You just got it on mommy. And he just... The Walls of Jericho dish seems to have been a hit. Anything you guys would change about it in the future, guys?
Sweetening.
More sweetening. They think it needs a little sugar in the actual egg mixture, so we might try that.
A little less gooey.
Okay, so Mom, it looks like the middle of it wasn't completely thoroughly cooked. I was worried because it was starting to brown on the top, so I'm going to let it cook a little longer next time. It isn't like not done, but it's just kind of custardy in the middle instead of like solid on the ends. But otherwise, is this something you guys would like? Mm-hmm. You like it? Okay, good. So that used up 2 dozen eggs, which is awesome. Okay, so another way I've been using up eggs is by hard boiling them. We'd like to keep a constant supply in the fridge so that we can grab them as snacks, and they're great for lunches. Lately, I've just been adding those as our protein source, you know, with some bread and jelly or something like that. So my mom got me this Dash egg cooker last year, I believe, and originally I was hesitant about it because the last thing I need, I mean, if you've ever seen my counters, look here. The last thing I need is another appliance sitting out. We have a tiny kitchen, and I cook a lot and have a lot of appliances. I mean, incubators sitting here. It's just chaos. But I also was having a problem with peeling my eggs. If you've ever had farm fresh eggs straight from a chicken, you'll know that they don't peel the same way as the ones you buy in the store, because the older the egg, the easier they are to peel. And so, you know, one solution would be to sit your eggs in the back of your fridge for a while and then use those, the older eggs, for hard boiling, but that isn't always convenient when we want them right away. So I found this steaming egg cooker actually does a great job of peeling my farm fresh eggs, and so it is an appliance that has stood the test of time. Despite using up counter space, I still like it and keep it around. So it's really easy. You just put a little water in the bottom, you fill it. My one complaint is that it only holds 10 eggs, and that's barely enough for our family for one meal. So ideally, I would want one twice this size, but I don't think, you know, you reach a point. You reach a point with large family living where appliances no longer serve a family your size. You either need something commercial or you have to buy 2 of them. So we just end up doing double batches. We do a batch like this, and then as soon as they're done, we do another. Something, Gabe just ran because something's going on outside, and I'm not quite sure. Oh, it looks like our dog just jumped the fence, so he's out fixing that. What was I saying? So anyways, we just end up doing a batch, taking them out, and doing another batch. We do 2 batches at a time with this, and that works great. So if you are having problems peeling your hard-boiled eggs, this is a great solution. I will leave the link to it in the description, and yeah. So something exciting that happened recently, we just hatched another batch of ducklings and chicks. And this is our first batch of ducklings for the year. We raise ducks here for both meat and eggs, so we keep a small flock of about 12 ducks. There's 2 drakes and 10 duck hens, and then they provide us with eggs. Lately it's been crazy. We've been getting an egg a day from every duck over the last couple weeks, so they're really good layers. We have a mix of pecans and Rouen. And this batch of ducklings is actually a 4th generation hatch here. We've had the same flock for 4 generations, so it's about time we add some new blood. We're going to trade some duck eggs with a friend and incubate those and try to hatch some new ducks here to kind of thin out the blood here. But these guys are so cute, I've got to show you. There's nothing cuter to me than ducklings. They're cute to me for about a week, and then they get really messy and gross, and I stop thinking they're cute. But this is a little pekin, this little yellow guy. This is what a Rouen looks like. So they're really adorable. This one is a mix, and it's my favorite. Usually when you have a mix, the head still kind of looks like a ruin, but this guy's almost all black with just a little bit of peak and feathers kind of coming through. I think it's so adorable. Look at him. Or her. So anyways, that's exciting. I prefer to do small batches of ducklings and chicks because generally it's just me processing on butchering day, processing the birds myself with just the help of the older children. And I get very overwhelmed if I have to do more than maybe 10 birds in a day. And so if I just hatch small batches consistently throughout the year, that's much more manageable for me than, let's say, purchasing, 100 meat birds and raising them all up at once, and then I have to spend 3 days processing a bunch of birds by myself. I don't enjoy that. And actually, I've told myself that I will never do that again, because the last year I did that, I was so overwhelmed I almost wanted to like give up on raising our own chicken. So this is what works for me. We've done 2 batches so far. The first one was just chicks. This batch was ducklings and chicks mixed together. And we'll probably, do 3 or 4 more batches throughout the year, and that will fill our freezer and keep us happy. So between them and then the old hens that we process for stew meat, that's about all of the poultry that we're going to need. Got all our plants back here hardening off. Our last frost date here in our zone, we're kind of right on the border of zones 5 and 6 here in Northwest Ohio, and some years it tends to be more like a 5 and some more like a 6, but we count on Mother's Day weekend being our last frost date most of the time. So that is about a week and a half away. So we're just hardening off plants to get ready to transplant them out. We've put some stuff out there already, kind of chancing it because the weather looks like it's going to be okay. But I'm not quite ready to get all my tomatoes and my peppers in the ground quite yet. I don't want to chance losing them. So we've got some other exciting news here since I last saw you. We added 2 more heifer calves here. For beef. We raise these heifer calves for beef. Rosie here will be processed sometime in August, I believe, and so these 2 girls will replace her, and those are what we will raise for beef in... I hear you, the boys are coming with your food. Hold on. We'll raise these 2 for our beef then in 2022, but we've decided that 2 calves is a good amount to raise each year for our family. Hi, girl. Hi. And that'll get us through. Any extra we have we'll sell, but for the most part we're reaching a point where two beef cows will probably be enough for our family. Hi, oh, she wants her grain. Hi, Rosie. So the kids named these calves. This right here, the girls got to name this one right here. They named her Martha, and the boys named this one over here Butterball. So we're having a lot of fun. They're so cute. We're having a lot of fun with them. So while the boys are working on their chores and I'm out here kind of taking you around showing you the new stuff, I thought I'd give you a little garden update. That's what I've been up to for the most part the last 2 weeks. Excuse the really loud roosters, as usual. So for the last 2 weeks when I haven't been making videos, I've mostly been spending time in the garden here, just trying to get everything done. So I thought I'd give you an update. If you remember last year, I was pregnant and had a baby right in the middle of gardening season. So my garden was basically a disaster. and I was overwhelmed and knew that this year likely wouldn't be much different because now I'm going to have a little toddler running around that needs my attention. And so we made the decision last fall to downsize our garden space. I got rid of one of my larger garden and we turned it into another chicken run, and we are seeing the effects of that now with this blessing of an abundance of eggs. It's great because now we have 2 flocks of chickens and we're getting tons of eggs. But my garden is smaller this year and I'm actually enjoying that. Another change I made, you can see back here, I'm using a lot of landscape fabric. This is woven weave fabric, and I bought the kind that my friend at Living Traditions recommended, Sarah, and it's working great. So this is going to help save me time during this season of life when I just can't get out here and weed quite a bit. So that's been a blessing. We've got most of the fabric laid, and then next weekend I'll be planting my tomatoes and okra and beans all back there in that big section. And right behind me I've done some cabbage in it here. I got some potatoes planted. We've got our garlic growing. I've got some onions over here and lettuce. The strawberries and herbs are all over there, the blackberries. So yeah, things are going well in the garden. We had a really late freeze 2 weeks ago. We had snow actually come through. What day was it? I'm trying to remember. It was right in the end of April, and it came through and it froze, and we lost a lot of our crabapple blossoms and we lost all of our mulberry blossoms. So we're not going to really get any crabapples or mulberries. We actually, the ice storm, because the apple trees were in full bloom when the snow came and the ice came, the apple trees got so heavy, the crabapple trees got so heavy from the weight of those frozen blossoms that we lost one of our crabapple trees. It actually uprooted it. It fell over from the weight. So that was really sad, but now we have lots of apple wood to use for smoking meat this summer. We will use that wood and that'll be a blessing. But otherwise, I'm trying to think. So we won't have mulberries. Our strawberries I was able to cover with plastic painter's tarp and some buckets and things. And we lost, I would say, I don't know, maybe a fourth of the blossoms that were on these showed some frost damage, but the rest are doing well, and we'll expect a decent strawberry harvest this year, so not all is lost. And that's just how it goes living up north. You just never know when you're going to get a late freeze, and you know, it's just unfortunate. We had such a warm early spring that all of the animals and the plants thought that winter was over, and they began blossoming and blooming and nesting, and then that late snow just kind of wrecked everybody's plans. But we will just be grateful for what we get. So anyways, that's my garden update. I'm hoping to do a full garden tour here once I get everything in the ground. So anyways, I'm reaching a point with gardening. Life is very different than it was 4 years ago even. I have 3 very active little boys now that require a lot of my attention. My older children are getting much older, and they're while they're a lot of help, they're also, their school is demanding a little more time and attention, and just their needs are very different in this season, and I don't have as much time to get out here in the garden. So I just think this makes sense for our family, and it was a hard pill for me to swallow, to realize that I can't do it all right now. I can't have these big massive gardens like I want to have and that I was able to have years ago. But once I really thought about it, I realized it's not the end of the world. It gives me the opportunity to support other local farmers if I don't grow it all here myself. And I'll still set the same preservation goals. We're going to put up just as much food as we did last year, but I'm going to let somebody else do some of the work. You know, I homeschool my children. I don't outsource that. I make all my meals from scratch. I don't outsource that. It's okay for me to outsource some of the growing of our produce because one person can't do it all, and I'm reaching the point where I'm okay with that. So anyways, gardening season is upon us. It's a busy, happy time. Looking forward to it. So a really common question I get whenever I talk about gardening and the amount of work I have, since my husband works off the homestead and I'm in charge of most of the homestead work, people say, well, you have all of those children, why don't they help you garden? And so I guess what I have to say about that is that I have, you know, these 2 boys here. They do, what do you guys think, maybe an hour every morning? Yeah, probably about an hour of the chores that you've seen in videos that they do every morning out here for me, and they do a whole another hour of chores in the afternoon, and all of that is on top of their schoolwork. These boys are such a blessing to me already. The last thing I need to do is burden them with hours of gardening work. Now there are times when we're doing, let's say when we're getting all the tomatoes and the peppers into the ground, they'll come out and they'll help me, you know, for big projects like that where I need the muscles to help me dig the holes and things like that. But when it comes to the everyday weeding and maintenance, that's the last thing I need to do, is burden these boys with more work. They do so much for our family. I'm so grateful for them. Honestly, we couldn't grow all the protein here, all of the meat and the eggs, without these boys helping us. And so they handle the protein, I handle the veggies and the fruit, right? And together, that's how we work it. So hopefully that answers that question. I always get that question. Just make the kids do it. And I guess my answer is I don't want to. Come here. All right, so I'm back inside. And so then you may be wondering, well, if your big boys are already so busy, why don't the girls help you in the garden? But my girls right here, they do their fair share of help too. While I was outside watering my plants and checking on the chicks and talking with the little boys, my girls were inside helping me watch the little boys. They work very hard. They're great babysitters, and that's how they contribute to the family. So they are how I often get a lot of garden work done. They watch the little boys for me so that I can get out there working. Now, every once in a while, especially if I'm planting flowers, right? If I'm planting flowers, they love to come out and help me in the garden, and they do their fair share of that. But yeah, I mean, everybody contributes in their own way currently. Now, I also get questions. People think it's very sexist that my boys do the outdoor farm work and my girls are watching the children, and they think that's not fair. What if the girls want to do the farm work? So, Gracie, do you want to go outside and do the farm chores?
No, not really.
No. So really, it started out of just because of their ages. My two big boys happen to be the oldest. And so when you're dealing with a large animal like a cow, you know, I couldn't have my smaller girls out there working with a larger animal. And the boys, ooh, he's shaking me. Can you hold him a second? And so since the boys were bigger, they started doing the animal chores first. And they got used to it and liked it. And, you know, the girls just really, that isn't something that they've decided they want to take over. So it has much less to do with gender in our house and a lot more to do with age. Had our girls been born first and were older, they would have been out doing the animal chores before the boys, right? But it just so happened that our oldest children are boys. They handle the work out there that requires lifting heavy feed bags and things, and the girls help me inside with the boys. And as my older boys get bigger and they move on and maybe they have jobs off of the homestead and things like that, these girls will probably step up once they're bigger and help with some of those animal chores, and then the little boys here will take over a lot of what the girls are doing. So I hope that answers that question. I always get that whenever we talk about the delegation of work here. All right, we just finished our Bible reading. I've mentioned before that we like to begin our homeschool day by reading a portion of our Through the Bible in a Year book. We don't necessarily get through it in a year because, you know, we take weekends off and we don't get to it every day that we do homeschool work, but our goal is to always start with that. It gives us a portion of the Old Testament, a portion of the New Testament, a psalm, and then just a little bit from Proverbs. And we really enjoy that. Today we talked about what? We talked about Elijah. What else did we talk about?
Peter.
Oh, we talked about, the apostles were preaching to the Gentiles now in the book of Acts. We're in that. And then we did our Proverbs. And it was some good discussion that came out of that. Always is. From there, we begin by setting goals for the day for our homeschool work. I mentioned this in my last video or one before that. And there were some comments from people. They wanted to get a better idea of what that time looks like for us and how the children set goals. So I'm just going to video us setting our goals, and hopefully this will give some insight in how we do it. So some days we choose 3 goals, some days we choose 4. Today, children, we're going to go ahead and choose 4 goals. Today, I would like for 3 of those goals to be academic, something from their our purchased curricula that they're working through this year. And then one of their goals today will be something that doesn't necessarily have to be academic. It can be one of their hobbies or interests, something else that they want to accomplish today. And so what I do is I just get out a piece of paper and we write down their goals so that I can keep track of what it is they chose to do. So we'll start with Gabriel. Give me 4 goals.
Okay, so I'll finish up the math lesson that I'm doing upstairs.
So math. Oh, you already started one? So he already started math. He's going to do a math lesson. What else?
I'll finish that writing that I finished yesterday.
You can't do. So he worked ahead in his writing yesterday. We're not going to count that today. Let's do something different. You were writing a book, so maybe work on writing a book. So he's going to do some writing today. What else?
And I will. I'll do another day of spelling.
Okay, some of his spelling curriculum, a lesson in there, and then another goal.
I'll do programming.
Okay, and then he's going to do some programming on the computer. So that's his goal list for today. Immediately when he gets done here, that's what he'll go up and work on, with the goal of getting most of that done before lunch, at least the academic stuff. And then often the other goal that they set that isn't academic is what they work on through nap time on their own, because I'm not available to help them during that time because Mama needs her nap. Okay, David. Nope, David's next. Give me 4 goals.
I would do spelling.
So he's doing
I
spelling.
already did it.
No?
No, I did it this morning.
Oh, you did it this morning. Okay, spelling.
Math,
Math. Writing.
and chess.
Oh, you're going to play a chess game. So board games often count in our goals as well, as long as it's a game that I find value in. I think chess is great for teaching critical thinking skills. So often kids will team up and they'll choose to play a board game together. My thinking is that whatever activity they choose, it needs to be done for a minimum of 30 minutes to count towards one of their school goals for the day. So they can't just, get out a game and play a quick game of checkers for 5 minutes and have that count. It needs to be 30 minutes or more.
I'd like to do math,
Okay, Grace is going to do a math lesson.
and I'm going to do some language arts.
Okay, on her language arts
And
curriculum.
cursive writing Bible verses.
Her cursive, and then,
I'm going to do the paper mache.
oh, and she's going to do some paper mache today for art. Okay, Elizabeth.
One math,
She's going to do math,
language arts.
language arts.
I don't know it.
What else do you want to do today? Cursive?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so she's doing cursive. Give me a 4th goal.
Paper mache.
She's going to also do paper mache, it looks like. So,
Me.
oh, okay. So Levi is very interested in starting school here. So he's going to choose some goals too. So Levi, give me 4 goals.
I'm going to do paper mache.
Paper mache.
And I'm doing make a movie on the computer.
Oh, you're going to work on the computer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I am doing do math.
Math.
And I'm going to do
How about some coloring?
yeah.
Okay, some coloring would be good. Okay. So, as I've mentioned before, in different seasons of life, different things work for our homeschool, and this is just what works for us right now, is setting these goals instead of having the planners filled out. Once we get into a steady rhythm and things slow down a little bit here after the garden planting, we'll go back to filling out the planners. The reason those don't really work for me right now is that a lot of my work is weather dependent. And so if we have a week where it is sunny out and it's a great opportunity for me to work outside in the garden, I'm not going to be available inside to help the children with school. And so if I had their planner filled out already, we would get behind on that work because it might not necessarily get done. And so this is just a much better way to just take it day by day. They're still working through their curriculum. We're still achieving goals. And honestly, it works out better sometimes because they're choosing what they want to work on for the day. So how do you guys feel about this system we've been doing?
Good.
Good? Okay. So it is probably about 10:30 right now. And the children are going to go up and start working. And lunch is going to be around 12:30. So they have 2 hours to accomplish these goals. Sound good?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that helps you kind of get an idea of how that works for us. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I will be sure to answer them.
I want to turn.
Okay, you want to say something? Oh, you're going to turn it off?
Yeah.
All right, go for it. So as you've seen in many of my videos, this is my time to start, getting the daily chores done. All 4 of my older students are at the age where they can read on their own, and so their curriculum is very great for facilitating independent work. They can just pick up their books, read what they need to do for the day, and get it done. And then while they're working, I tend to work in the kitchen with the baby on my back. And he's getting fussy, needing a nap right now. But I work in the kitchen, I catch up on laundry, I may do a little bit of light cleaning. And the children come to me as they complete their work so I can check it for them. Or they come to me if they have any questions, and that works out great. Levi is age 5 and can't read yet and is expressing interest in learning how to read. And so when you have a child who can't read, that requires a lot more one-on-one attention from mom. And so once we begin school with him during this time, this 2-hour break before lunch, I will actually sit down for a portion of that, usually 30 to 45 minutes, and we'll go through the work that he needs to do to get him reading. But we have a nice little break because there was a 3-year age difference between Elizabeth and Levi. I don't have... for a while now here, I haven't had any children that don't know how to read that are working on school, and so it's given me a lot of time to get things accomplished. And we're also, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, in a weird transitional phase here with Benjamin. He used to go down for an early morning nap when he first nursed, that first nursing session, and lately he hasn't been getting tired then. He doesn't get tired until this point, which is later in the day. But the problem is, if he goes down for a nap now, it will affect lunchtime and it will affect afternoon naps. He's kind of reaching that point where he's trying to merge the 2 naps together into one kind of longer nap. But our family schedule hasn't adjusted well yet to kind of fit that. It's always so hard with a baby in that first year of life. It's just trying to adapt the family schedule to fit the changing napping needs of the baby. And so the last 2 weeks have been rough. He's just starting to change that nap schedule. So he'll probably take a little nap here on my back while I'm putzing around and helping the children. And then he'll wake up when I take him off my nap. We'll eat lunch, and then he'll likely go back down again when I put John down for a nap this afternoon. But this is large family life. It's just you roll with the punches, and you get the work done when you can fit it in. So how's it going, Elizabeth? Good. She's working on her language arts, and I'm just going to go check what everybody else is doing, and that's what I'll do for the next couple hours. So, David, are you teaching Levi how to play chess? Yeah. This is awesome, and I think my big boys, David and Gabe, were about this age. They were 5 and 6 when they first learned how to play, so that is great. Levi, you're going to really enjoy that. Yeah. So, Gracie's working on her math. How's it going?
Good.
Pretty good? I love you too. So Gabe is working on his math. How's this going?
Good.
Good. He's doing his pre-algebra. The sun is out. It's getting bright out here. That's a wonderful thing. It has been rainy for the last couple days, so this will be a great opportunity to get in my garden. I just got some laundry hung, and I am backed up on that from the rainy days, so that's my goal for the rest of the day, is to get in the garden, finish up on the laundry. I've got to go get lunch ready, finish checking the kids' schoolwork, but I feel like I caught you up on everything that's been going on since I last posted a video, and so hopefully you enjoyed this little peek into our day, and yeah, I hope you're having a blessed day. We look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a great day, friends. Bye.